couple of pieces here first. We've had this requested of us to do this last tune. The first one's called Down the River I Go, Uncle Joe. I think we did that the first year we came to this camp.
We learned that's from a great band, the Double-Decker String Band, included the late Craig Johnson. What a great band they were.
And I think this was done, this was recorded with 5 banjos, which I thought was wonderful. And then we're going to combine it with a tune that's probably one of our favorite tunes that we've ever learned to play, and we just can't seem to quit playing it. It's called John Stenson's Number 2. The interesting thing about this was originally written by an uncle of the legendary Irish fiddler Kevin Burke. But it changed quite a bit. Dan Levinson taught it to us this way. The chords in the second part are quite different from the way Kevin Burke knew the tune, or that his uncle knew the tune. So this is John Stenson's Number 2, and Down the River I Go, Uncle Joe.
Oh, yeah, you could help us with the refrain, which is
really less
down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Okay.
We like these real intellectually sophisticated songs. That's for sure.
Down the river I go. That's it. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Horse and buggy to carry you around, and down the river I go. Your little feet will never touch ground, and down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go. Chickens crowing by day. Every man that's got a wife, he better at get her away. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go. As I could sew, I'd sew my love to my coattails. Down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe. Down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go. Down the river I go, Uncle Joe, down the river I go.
Thank you. You had to introduce me, Joe. We played a song in your name. So anyway, we'll do a couple of tunes here that from the repertoire, I guess, or from the homework of this group of folks that play in Winfield, Kansas every year and camp out there for a couple of weeks called the Carp Camp at the big festival there in Winfield, Kansas. And many of you who have seen us before recently have known that we've been pretty much energized by these folks and their tunes, and because there are a lot of cool tunes of many kinds.
They play in a big circle, and hearing 70 to 80 people playing at one time is a wonderful thing. And they don't have many banjo players in this group. It's a lot of fiddlers, a lot of dulcimer players, other instruments, but not so many banjo players. And actually, these are
they
both.
They don't have a problem. It's just that.
No, it's just that a lot of them don't come. But I fell in love with a lot of these tunes, and sort of found it a challenge to try to learn some of these pieces. So these are two of them that they probably figured clawhammer banjo players are not going to try to tackle. One is a tune that we've heard a lot of contra dance groups playing called Tamlin, and the second one is a very, very weird tune that's probably more suitable to Halloween, called Ichabod's Last Ride. Very strange for clawhammer banjo, but actually a lot of fun to play. So the book, the homework says it's by J. Edmonds of Flapjack, which means nothing to me.
I have no idea. The Carp Camp folks have a strange way with tune names. They mess around with them all the time because they've got a lot of time on their hands because they're on vacation, basically. And so, like, there was one tune that is known in Illinois as Sam and Elsie, and there was a couple there and it was Sam and Patty, so they called it Sam and Patty, and then it was Sam and Patty.
Or Salmonella.
And then it was Salmonella.
Really bad,
so
anyway.
You just never really know what's going on, so which is okay by me.
So
All right.
anyway, thanks for being in the classes. This is just a wonderful camp, and thanks Ken and Stan for letting us come here. And good to see you, Joe. Really.
Of course. I can't. It is a great camp. You just can't find a better collection of banjo players. And I know some people think that's a contradiction in terms, but still, it's an incredible camp, and it's you all have it's run extremely well. As an early act, I can say that I'm really glad they fixed the line at the ice cream problem because we're glad to see you all here. Okay.